of Scoundrel and Mercenary podcast. We really appreciate having you in the chat room today. And unfortunately for me, I kind of discombobulated my entire setup right before starting the show, and nothing was working. And then I had a Stream Element bot just yelling in my ear over and over and over. So it's like having an extra radio on. So thankfully, Mrs. QBL was able to get us back on track, and we will be recording for about 30 to 35 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us, chat room. Let me just get my trustworthy sidekick back here so we can proceed. Today, we're going to talk about MechWarrior Mercenaries 5, tactics and having somebody in the game join you, being online, and having a wingman when you really need one. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump right into the meat of the matter with Confederate politics. So this week I want to talk about working with somebody who's not on your wavelength, and working with somebody who may not be acting as a teammate when you need a teammate. So what happens is you go and you start a game and you say, I need help. And nobody's listening. And you say, I need help. And this is what Sun Tzu refers to in the Art of War document that he wrote many centuries ago, is you have different type of ground like quicksand. Basically, the army is throwing their lives away because they think of the glory of victory, and they are unable to see that they are losing massive forces by sinking into a direction that is not conducive to separating slaughter from maneuver. So a lot of generals use either slaughter or maneuver to accomplish a goal. The more maneuver you can use and the less slaughter, the better, because then you retain some of those armies or troops you trained. So I was at work this week and I was trying to explain to a coworker not to load a certain amount of freight that was valuable, to load that separate at the back of the truck, so that when it got to its destination, that's the first thing that comes off the truck is this segregated stuff for Saturday service. Now, you would think, what's the big deal? It's loaded on the truck. What does it matter? And that's exactly what the comment was when I said, don't do what you're doing. Pull back a step. Hold off for a second and think about what you're doing. And I was like, what do you want? Tell me what you want. I was able to tell him that I didn't load those boxes for half an hour, knowing that they have to be separate so that they go at the back of the truck so they can be unloaded first. So what does he do? He grabs the next box and puts it at the front of the truck again. He's too tired to understand at that point. He wants to finish the week because it's New Year's. He wants to go home. He wants to take a step back. By the way, today is January 1st, 2023, and it's 11:55 at night. We are recording a little bit later than usual, a day later than usual. Miss QBL had to correct me on a few things, so we had to back it up a bit and get the show started on a different day. Not that we wanted to start a different day. I was just too tired yesterday. I had worked too much overtime. So anyway, back to Confederate politics. I'm trying to help this guy do his job properly, and he's just not able to comprehend what I'm saying. And I have nothing bad to say about it. I just said, please follow my instructions and just put the boxes here in the DG compartment and everything will be fine. So he finally did it, and I was happy because then that means that the freight gets to Montreal on time or gets back east on time, and it goes and gets delivered on a Saturday, which is very important to some of our customers. That's the most expensive service. So when we ask for Saturday service, we want to take special care to make sure that those customers are treated properly and they get what they ask for. We are incredibly grateful for the people in the chat room today. Um, those people that come listen to us. We want to thank AX2. We want to thank Alicia Dra. We want to thank Alien Gathering. We want to thank another viewer. We want to thank Commander Root. We want to thank Digital Instinct. We're going to thank Discord for streamers. We're going to thank Discord's community. We're going to thank DrapSnat. We're going to thank Lay Kali. We're going to thank Lurks, Rogue Girl, and Valentina Alcaraz. That is a lot of people. That's quite the mouthful. But as you can see, there's quite a few people listening to us in the chat room, and we really really appreciate that. I'm just gonna correct the stream here. I forgot to remove the recording soon. This is actual recording, so it's important to our viewers to be able to zoom in when they want to hear the actual recording. And I just canceled out my chat room on the other computer. I hit the help button. Unfortunately for me, my keyboard is just a little bit too big, so I don't. I have two keyboards on my desk, and I just don't have enough room to get everything done that I want to do. So I have to kind
You're
of
not taking up
magically.
another room for more computer stuff.
Oh yeah, and I keep asking for more computer. I want 4 computers.
No.
No, QBL says no, so that means no. Apparently, I have enough as it is. But back to our cats. You can see in the chat room that I have installed a kitten adoption fee. I'm hoping to pay for one of the kittens via contributions to subscriptions and whatnot. And as you can see, I have 31 days to go, so why not? Hopefully, somebody is favorable to our kitten adoptions. We're adopting from Vokra this week, and we're hoping that they'll find us two sisters, one black, one I don't care the other color, uh, and yeah. So that's one of the things we're working on this week. Um, Confederate politics. I really appreciate people who are able to do what they got to do um, to get us to where we got to be for the show. I appreciate Aprillian coming in my chat room last week to kind of help me settle some issues that I was having with the organizing and the recording. Um, she was able to um, kind of refocus my efforts so that I can upload the stream to iTunes, which is insanely handy. We also tried to get rid of our echo because apparently last week for about 25 minutes nobody said anything in the chat room about there being an echo. So I kind of didn't know that I had to get in there and shut down a specific microphone that was causing like a twin thing to be there, and I didn't even realize it until it was way into the show. So we appreciate that somebody said something at one point to get us back on track and get us recording. I wanted to mention Warp, who came into my chat room at 4 o'clock in the morning this morning, and he helped me complete two missions that were incredibly hard. I was gonna try and just redo those missions over and over and over until I got them done. But fortunately, when you play with either Steam or Epic Store, you can do multiplayer through their network. So as long as you log into Steam first or the Epic Store, you can use the connections, your Google account connection to connect to other players, which you have the numbers for. So I connected to Warp and his wingman. He was hanging out with another buddy. They came into my chat room. They said, you're going to try this. Can we help? I said, for sure. So I brought them in. It was my first multiplayer in MechWarrior 5. And we went in, and I had an ammo explosion on my mech within a minute or two of the mission starting. So my mech just keels over because all the weapons are destroyed. When the weapons are destroyed, you automatically eject, and you're no longer able to complete the mission. And I looked around, and everybody was still doing a good job. I couldn't take over the AI because I wasn't quick enough to jump onto the AI computer. So I had to watch my other two teammates decimate the enemies and go to the next mission. And when they reach the final target area, it pulls me out of the conflict. So that was really, really good. I was able to uh, continue on to the next area of the game and load the next mission. We get salvaged some good mechs, and I was able to give them a free reign over the mech lab, so they were able to kind of change their weapons or whatnot. I had a couple of double heat sinks. They got loaded onto the next mech and they got promptly destroyed in the next mission. I don't care. It's not a big deal. I'll get more double heat sinks somewhere else. The important things is that you get to play with friends and you get to find out what makes them tick, and they get to find out what makes you tick. So it's a shared experience in the stream, and we're able to uh, play a collective experience that gets us further along the the path that we've chosen to play the game. So the mission I was doing was Davion slash Liao conflict. Basically, they were rescuing some of their pilots, and they didn't want the pilots to die, so they asked me to go in and to rescue the pilots. So I go in with my mercenary lance, which is a mercenary lance is basically four mechs going in together to accomplish a goal. A star of clanners is usually four mechs that are clan mechs. A lance of inner sphere is usually four mechs of inner sphere mechs. So basically, I found my first ERPPC today, so I'm really happy about that. I bought it on the mech equipment market, and I installed it on a mech, and the range is like 1200. It's really really far, so I actually had to increase. I had to increase my draw distance on my video card because at that point, I am shooting at something I can't even see, so I have to increase the amount that I can see so I can shoot further. So it was really, really good because now I can hit targets that are really, really far away, or I can give it to one of my bots who has a good gunnery skill. I fired one of my pilots, which was old and not able to progress beyond 30 piloting points, and I bought three new pilots. So that was about 1 million C-bills. I don't really care about the expense because at this point I'm looting assault mechs, so I'm able to sell the old mechs that I had for 2 to 3 million C-bills. I just sell them with the weapons on it. If their weapons are no good, I don't bother changing them out. If they're good weapons, then I do go to the cold storage and sell them once the weapons are dismounted. But then you only get 600 or 700,000 for the mech. If you sell them with the weapons on, sometimes you get 2 3 million for the mech with the weapons on because it's a functional mech. Um, I played some WoW this morning. I just logged into the auction house, went around, and did some chores. I want to call them chores because you're not really playing. You're just doing more like maintenance, checking emails, and going around to your characters, making sure that everything ticks along. One of my Horde characters, Constructs 11, dinged 60, so I'm able to do content for Dragonflight on that character, which he's a skinner, so I figure you get some nice stuff on him, and you'll be able to craft stuff for other characters on that server. So I'm really happy about that. I'm not. I'm not in a hurry to get to Dragonflight. I'll get there when I get there. I know Aprillian's really happy she got her game going, and she occasionally dips in, but I don't think she stays around very long. She wants to see the game from a fresh perspective. She's not out there to make money or whatnot, or sell gold or any of those things. But she wants to uh, have fun and really. like dip her toes into uh, the multiplayer. She says she can't do a single player game anymore, and I understand what that means. It means that you played solo for a number of years, and you're not really interested in that facet of gaming. You're more interested in social interaction. And I was talking earlier about Confederate politics. I was talking to my brother about his son, and I said, we went and played a couple of games together, but your son is too fast. I can't keep up. He runs ahead of me, grabs all the guns, and I don't even have a gun. So I can club an enemy player over the head with my fists, but I can't really shoot him because I don't have a gun to shoot with. So after 4 or 5 games of saying I don't have a gun, I don't have a gun, I don't have a gun, I stopped playing with him. You know, I could have persevered and went and learned the game on my own, but I just got too frustrated. I couldn't get over the hurdle of this player is not listening to anything I'm saying. He just wants to play, 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 and he doesn't concern himself with the old slow guy in the back. And I have nothing personal against my nephew. I just wish I was able to communicate just like that guy at work what I need from him. I need him to take me by the hand, take me to where the weapon is, and not pick it up. I need him to leave it on the ground for me to pick it up so I can assist him in doing what he wants to do. Um, I played with one of my cousins when I was young, and he was all about showing me how great of a player he was by shooting me in the head. And that got to be real boring after 8 to 10 minutes because he's not giving you any chance to learn. He's not interested in your progress. He just wants to show you off how good he is at the game. It's like you're not going to make friends very long if you don't bring me to your level so I can play with you. Um, and So we went to the arcade, and at the arcade, I said, "Oh, which machine do you like to play?" He goes, "The racing game." Okay, so I do the racing game, and I get in a vehicle, and I'm going as fast as I can without hitting him. So I keep passing him and going in front. Well, he once you're in the back, the computer, the AI adjusts so he gives you faster top speed so you can catch up and stay in the race. So he was using his catch up to knock me off the the runway so that I'm in the decor and I can't catch up. Like once you fall so far behind, it doesn't matter how much speed you have, you can't catch up. I, like I'm again that player, I'm trying to teach him cooperative skills, and a lot of the kids don't have patience for that. They just want to smash, 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 and then show you they're the best. And it's a very complicated uh, system to break in and to kind of hack the strategy uh, portion of the AI and to explain that there's more to the game than just the graphics. There's strategy, there's camaraderie, there's companionship, there's uh, organized higher level stuff, but you have to build your skill set to be able to um, navigate those things. Because if you don't have patience for your coworkers, or patience for your teammates, or patience for your players, your friend players, then at some point you become lost in the equation, and it stops being fun, and you have to take a step back and kind of reevaluate what you're doing. Um, at work yesterday, somebody said, "Good to see you." And I thought about what they were saying. They're saying that they appreciate my help in the evening, so they appreciate help being able to help me in the morning. So that they're able to pay me back for all the help I gave them the day before. So the team works. It works by being a full circle. You load the truck at the start of the day, and at the end of the day, you unload it. And throughout that process, there's moving pieces, and those moving pieces don't amount to much individually. But when you put everything together, you become very, very tight unit, productive, and everyone's working hard. and like I'm showing some stuff to the third party guys who are separate vendors from us, and I'm trying to pull them into that circle, and I find opposition. I find people who don't want them sticking around. They want to be getting rid of them as soon as possible. And I'm like, you don't realize that those guys that you have extra, they do 30% more deliveries because you pull them in. So we go from being productive to being insanely productive by having those couple extra guys do all the hard stuff. And it's super valuable to have people who want to do the jobs that nobody wants to do, whether it be counting stuff, whether it be delivering to apartment buildings, whether it be picking up from con centers that are in stores that are not uh, our favorite stores to go in. Like some stores you go in, it is like really hard to make the pickup there because there's only one person working both the in, the out, and the storage. So that person has to be very skilled at handling a number of requests all at the same time. And for our guys who are used to working in a team environment, to only have one person helping split up between 7 or 8 different customers, it's a it's a logistics nightmare. We would like to have that one-on-one rapport where the person helping you is also the person who you're going to help later. So there's a back and forth and a synergy there that is just not available if you don't have um, the teamwork element. If you're only there for yourself, if you're only there to make a paycheck, if you're only there because you want your achievement and you're not ready to help out in another game or to give some of your time or to be generous, then you're kind of cursing yourself in the long run because you're going to get to missions that are too hard to do on your own. So, what do you do at that time? How do you survive? How do you overcome the obstacle? Well, some people are going to say this may not be the job for you. You never want to go there. You never want to be told that you're like a bad employee or something like that. So you have to be the person that's able to adapt and overcome and become a better person. And I don't know what QBL what you could say about this, but I'd really like some input on what you think a team environment, uh, the benefits.
The problem is some of these people do not have listening skills.
I agree. I agree that that happens.
The listening skills will get you a long way.
Hmm.
And also, when you say to somebody, "This may not be the job for you," it's true. It the business that we're in is not for everybody.
Hmm.
If you can't make it the first couple of days, you are not going to make it. You best be on your way down the road to someplace else. Because if you're not looking, to do some hard work, it's not the job for you. But listening skills are very important because you're talking, how to make do what you want them to do, so to speak. Even in the gaming, you're talking about the nephew. He doesn't have the listening skills.
Hmm. Right.
He's totally ignoring what you want because he's not hearing you.
Right.
So that's something he needs to learn.
Right. I I really appreciate that side of the your way of thinking because um, I had a guy in the trailer I was working with 2 weeks ago who was always asking me, "How can I make more money? How can I make more money? What's the easiest way to make money? Money, 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 money." He would repeat that like 4, 5, 6 times an hour, and the next day he didn't come into work. He was done. I told him in no uncertain terms that you really have to buckle down for the first year, year and a half. It's not going to be easy, and you really have to have like a second job or something to be able to survive, or somebody paying the rent for you because the first year and a half is like a lot of grinding work just to learn the business and to do it correctly and to survive with the limited income. Until that first year and a half, for me, that first year and a half was actually 3 years because I was on call. So I was making minimum wage for like 3 years. And if my cousin hadn't welcomed me into his house with rent free for 3 months, I wouldn't have been able to pay my bills. I uh, I approached him one day and I say I need $300 for one day, and he goes, I don't understand, but he goes, I'll go with you to the bank and I'll give you a check. So he gives me a $300 check for one day. My car payment goes through, and I get my paycheck the next day. I pay him back. He goes, I don't understand. I go, I don't want to owe you money. I said, you're putting me up rent free. You're feeding me for all this extra time that I have very, very limited income. I said, I'm immensely grateful. I don't want to owe you money on top of that. So he asked me, uh, can you move in with my brother to help him out? And I said, I cannot, because I've been helping him out in Quebec for 4 years, and he's no further along. He doesn't have the listening skills. He makes 3 times what I make, and he wants to have my revenue as well. So that's 4 times what he makes, so he can buy drugs. Drugs is a huge plague where I live because there's homeless people who live not 100 yards from where I live. They are homeless. They lost their job. They have a dependency problem or whatnot. It's horrible. You go to Starbucks. Starbucks is a great place to go, and there's somebody sleeping at the entrance. What do? You have to walk around them. You, you can't help that person if they haven't hit rock bottom and aren't willing to get help, because all they're going to do is siphon your resources and prevent you from moving on in life. So you have to kind of take a tough stance that that person needs help, but the kind of help I can provide doesn't do anything for them. All they're going to do is take my money and go buy more drugs. So when my cousin asked me to repay him the help he gave me with helping his brother who's on drugs, I said, this doesn't work. I'm not able to help your brother. Your brother hasn't hit rock bottom. He's still consuming actively. So, um, just like QBL said, my cousin doesn't have the listening skills. So I'm not able to provide any kind of service. I went with him to the gas station. He said, give me half the money for my tank, give me money for cigarettes, and give me half in cash so I can buy stuff I need. I know the half in cash is just going to drugs. So I said, I'll give you money for gas, I'll give you money for cigarettes, but any cash after that, that's not going to you because I know you're going to spend it. And I know what you're going to spend it on. So I had to make the hard decision of, you're asking me for help, but I can't help you. So sometimes you're in a gaming situation where somebody says, "Oh, one more game," and you have to work the next day. You have to make that consideration of what's best for you at that point. So you have to say, you know what? I've had fun. We went a long way. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up in 3 hours to go to work, and the work that I do in 3 hours matters to everybody around me. So I have to be focused. I have to be on the ball, and I have to be able to help. If I'm not able to help, I'm in big trouble because then I can have an accident, and then I can't help nobody. I can't even help myself. I'm at the mercy of um, whoever would take advantage of me. So you always want to protect your back. I want to cover your behind. Want to make sure that the hammer doesn't drop on you. If the bus is coming, don't let the bus run you over. Get the hell out of the way, come up from behind and jump on the bus. Don't be the victim. Always be proactive. Acknowledge the problems, acknowledge the danger, figure out a situation on the fly. Don't be the victim. Um, I went out with a woman in Quebec. She had 2 kids. She would always have problems, money problems. Well, eventually we got to be to the point where all of my income would go to her. I would have nothing for myself. And She was happy because she had my whole wallet. She didn't have to work. She would call in sick to work so she didn't have to work because she said she didn't need the money. At that point, I said, there's an issue here I have. You're no longer willing to put time in this relationship. All you want is to be able to watch TV, do your painting, do your arts and crafts, and play with your kids. You're no longer interested in my welfare. So I'm completely wasting my time here. I moved 5,000 kilometers away from her across the country. I found myself a wonderful, wonderful spouse who always has my back, who's always concerned about my welfare, my overall well being. If I don't get enough sleep, she says something about it, and she doesn't let it slide because she wants me to succeed in life. So you always got to surround yourself with people who are good players on your team. And if those people at work are not a good fit, either they got to move on or you got to find a way to work with them that doesn't put you in danger. Um, Somebody at work was going to make a comment one day that my my pile of boxes looked like a effing Inukshuk. And I use that word effing. That's the terminology he used. I almost got up and took a swing at him. I would have lost my job. So at that point, um, I reported the person. I went to HR and I said, this cannot be tolerated. Him trying to negatively impact another person to make them lose their cool all the time, that needs to go away. You need to quash that so I can do my job, so he can do his job without getting fired. And they talked to the guy. They pulled him aside and said, look, what's the issue? Why the passive aggressive? Why the ultra sarcasm? Why? So, um, he answered. He said, maybe that wasn't the best choice of words. He's trying to bring out his dark sense of humor, but all he's doing is bashing my work in, and kind of an expression I like to use is he's pissing in my cornflakes. I said, I can't be at that level. I can't be frustrated all the time. I have the sense that I'm accomplishing something. That, like Santa Claus, I'm handing out presents, and they're not all going to naughty kids. Some of them are going to the nice kids, and I work along great with that guy now. But it was a couple of weeks there to adjust our communication so that we don't permanently get on each other's case. So I had to uh, bring it down a notch for myself, and he had to bring it up a notch for himself. So we could be on the same level and work together. And now, anytime he needs help, no matter what it is, I'm always there to spot him. I'm a big guy. I weigh 318 pounds, and I don't care what you ask me. If I am physically fit and able to do it, I'll help you. And one day, the guy I was talking to, um, who didn't understand what I was asking him to do, he comes up and he says, "You should slow down." He goes, "You're going to have a fall." And I said, "Yeah, I'm tough. I could do whatever." And I moved the skid and I took a spill off a trailer. I was headed right for the floor, face first, and I was going to smash my face into the ground and lose a few teeth. Fortunately for me, I still had my hand on the pallet jack, and I held myself at a 45-degree angle, and I didn't let go, so I didn't end up, breaking my shoulder or whatnot. I broke my collarbone 4 times growing up, so I know what a little fall with a little speed can do when you're not prepared and something falls on top of you. So I apologized to that person and I said, "Can you help me for 5 minutes? Just spot me, make sure that nobody's in my way when I'm coming off the trailer with this heavy skid." And I had another skid, 2 skids later, that required 3 guys to bring off the skid. I got the other 2 guys to help me